Okay guys, this is a preview of the camera system that I've come up for with the reloading presses, or 4 progressive reloading presses. It goes in station 3. This is where your powder check die would normally go. I don't use a powder check, I always visually inspect. If you wanted to, you could put it in station 4, have a powder check die, station 3, and then just have a seat crimp die, station 5. I don't think that that's going to be necessary. So what this is there's a die that I have come up with, holds a camera, and then I have this camera mount here. It clamps to the side of the bench. It's roughly 2.5 to 3 foot long, somewhere around there, and it wraps around. So the way I set it up is I clamped it to the bench, and then it kind of wraps around here, goes back behind the bench, does another loop back this way until you get to the back of the phone holder, which will hold your phone. This phone holder is spring loaded. It will hold, I have a 10.5 inch tablet that it will hold fine. It's a much larger image that you're looking at. I don't think it's necessary, but if you want to use a tablet you can. It gives you a much bigger screen. The camera supports is for Android devices. It supports, or the camera has to support OTG video, I believe is what it's called. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's in use. Right now I have a 223 case that was just ran through a sizing die and primed. It's still got lube on the inside, so you'll kind of be able to see how the powder kind of sticks to the side of the case, but it still works. You can see inside the case just fine, and 223 is the hardest case to see inside. You can see it's a very crisp, clear image. The powder that I put in there is H110, pretty fine powder. It will, I don't know what I was trying to say, but so you have the powder there. You can see inside the case just fine. The next one is a 223. Actually, I said those backwards. The other one was a clean case, and then this one is the one that's going to have a little bit of lube on the inside, so you can see how the powder kind of sticks. Just kind of a comparison to show you what the image would look like. The next case that I'm going to put in here is going to be a 300 blackout case. All these cases had powder in them. They weren't accurate charges. I just threw some powder in them for the video. So see it come up, and you can see inside the 300 blackout case perfectly. The next case that I'm going to put in is going to be a 9mm case. And for 9mm, you would have the die set to its lowest adjustment here, and then the camera actually just goes inside a little bit further. There's going to be an O-ring that goes around the camera that will prevent you from going too far inside after you have the die set up for whatever you're loading. So as you can see inside that 9mm case just fine. This will do up to 30-06, 308 size cases. The die is actually pretty long. You just unscrew it from the press, to the adjustment that you would need it to be for whatever brass you're doing at the time. Let me see. I think that's all I need to cover on it for now. This video is just to kind of show a couple of people, just to see what people think about it. I'm looking at a price point of around $75. Most of the parts, the mount and the camera, they're just aftermarket parts that I'm purchasing. I'm not marking them up. I'm just including them. They're part of the kit. It'd be better than me just supplying the die and then telling people to go find their own parts and make it work. So the camera and the mount are their own thing. This works with cell phones and tablets. Like I said, it has to be a newer phone. I've tested it with the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, 3, 4, the Samsung Galaxy S4 and S5. So I'm sure it'll work with all the newer phones. I tested it with my Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy S10.5, I believe is what it's called. It's a large tablet, this tablet here. So as you can see, it's a very large tablet. I tested it with the Tab 2. It will not work. It does not support the video. I do not know about the newer ones. So I guess just let me know what you think about it if you're watching this video. Let me see if there's a market for it. I've had a few discussions with people about it's not going to tell you whether you have an overcharge or an undercharge like a powder dye would, but they don't really give you, or in my experience, they're not going to tell you if you're a couple of grains over or a couple of grains under on a charge anyways, unless you just have a really good eye. So just let me know what you think about this. Appreciate it.